Welcome back, everybody. This is my top 5 from the 27th of July through the August 2nd. Just run down the list. Number 5, it's Miz and Morrison defeating Finlay and Hornswoggle. Hornswoggle tags himself in and goes for what it looked like a Hurricanrana, and paid in the end with a, I don't know, like a face first suit. No, I wouldn't say a suplex, but landed flat on his face. Number 4, CM Punk defeated William Regal. William Regal coming back, I thought he was going to be the GM, just pop him right back into where he was before, but that was not the case. CM Punk had a nice match against him and prevailed in the end, and CM Punk won. Number 3, Kennedy defeats Benjamin. Benjamin doesn't deserve to have the title. They need to put it back on Kennedy. It was a nice, long match. Benjamin says he's got an acute case of bronchitis at the end and that he shouldn't have wrestled. That's just an excuse. Wasn't the greatest match in the world, but well, for Kennedy it was pretty good, but not for Benjamin. Number 2, JBL and Kane lose to John Cena and Batista, which then adds to more drama, and I will announce that a little bit later. JBL, Kane, DiBiase and Rhodes defeat Batista, John Cena, and Crime Time for the Saturday night's main event. It had the ending. It was going pretty. You know how they usually do it with the tag team. Everyone kind of gets involved. Cena threw JTG onto DiBiase and thought he was the legal man, but really it was JBL. JBL comes in, clothesline from hell, and JTG loses for the team. JBL wins. So overall, I'm going to say the best show of the week was Raw, and the worst was SmackDown. SmackDown just didn't have very many good matches. They were mainly squash matches. The only, I think, matches that weren't squashes was Kennedy and Benjamin and Hardy and Great Khali. Other than that, Big Show and Domino, worst match of the week. Complete squash. MVP versus Jimmy Wang Yang. We knew Jimmy Wang Yang wasn't going to win. Why are they even doing this? Maria and Victoria wasn't a complete squash match. It was nice to see Maria finally on SmackDown, but didn't really cut it. So I'm going to give it 3.5 stars out of 5 for the week for WWE, their weekly program. Saturday night's main event, 3 matches. Let's see, Khali versus, I think it was Jimmy Wang Yang. Why did they even have it on there? Edge versus Jeff Hardy. Finished with MVP interfering. It just wasn't the greatest Saturday night's main event. I think it was probably one of the worst. I've seen some pretty weird ones, but that one was not. They just wanted to throw it together and get some publicity on the prime time for NBC. It wasn't the greatest. I wish they'd go back to a 3-hour one compared to a 1 hour. So I'm going to go with the top 5 stars are Cena, Batista, Kofi, Kingston, Matt Hardy, and JBL. They're all ones that really got into their matches this week. I didn't want to have Cena and Batista on there, but they've just been kind of the running Raw right now. They've been on every main event or dealing with something big. So I'm going to say the funniest match of the week was Lawler and Cole versus DiBiase and Rhodes. It was kind of funny seeing Cole actually swinging at Cody Rhodes. I already told you what the worst match was with Big Show and Domino. The surprise of the week was the new GM, Mike Adamle, leaving ECW's commentator box for Raw as GM. Todd Grisham moves in as the new ECW commentator, and I think he's doing better than Adamle. I'm just hoping that they can actually do better at him being a Raw GM than a commentator, because I know he's done commentating in the past, but does not do it well for WWE. I'm hoping he does better as the GM. From what I was reading, people at the stadium could kind of already tell who the GM was going to be because he jumped up in the ring a little too early. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow night. Monday night. So I'm going to go with the storylines. Adam Lee did announce for his first match for Raw for SummerSlam, Cena and Batista going at it head-to-head. And another one for SmackDown, MVP and Jeff Hardy. I know MVP has had a nice long feud against Matt Hardy. Now I'm thinking that they're going to try and do it with Jeff, which it kind of seems kind of that's which the we're going. This kind of digging down deep into the things that happened in Jeff just right after his suspension and dealing with his suspension and pulling him out, and MVP's kind of like exposing them and saying all this stuff, but Jeff Hardy just doesn't want to take it anymore. And one other thing, Undertaker versus Edge, too predictable. Unless they're going to pull, Undertaker will win unless WWE is smart enough to make it so it doesn't seem so predictable and have Edge win. But they know that Undertaker is going to go for some redemption, so I don't know. Unless La Familia is going to interfere in some way, but I don't think they will. I think they will be on Vicky's side and say no, he's got to be by himself, and be Edge and Undertaker one-on-one and just leave him alone. And then one other thing is, I was talking to one of my coworkers at work, and he's a big wrestling fan, and I was telling him one of the matches that they should do is CM Punk in like a championship match against JBL, Kane, Batista, Cena, and maybe even Randy Orton when he comes back. Now I'm starting to think maybe Jericho. It depends on what this whole thing with HBK goes down tomorrow, so it might be. I'm gonna probably say Jericho. Jericho versus CM Punk at the SummerSlam, and freak, why did they have to choose the Great Khali to win that battle royal? You had so many better people to put in there. You could have Umaga, but Umaga is just, they've made him too weak against Triple H. You've got Jeff Hardy, MVP, Kennedy, and Big Show. The Khali is the last person that deserves to have a title match, and you know it's going to be a complete win for Triple H, because if they give it back to the Great Khali, there's going to be ratings drops. Triple H is going to win, and I know maybe they did this because Triple H just had their second kid with Stephanie and just didn't want to have to do so much promotion for it, and then have CM Punk and whoever his competitor be the main event for the night. And one other thing is, I do see ECW champion switching hands and going to Matt Hardy. So that was my review. Sorry it was a little quick, and sorry that I did miss last week's. I was out of town, busy. I just had a lot of things to do and completely forgot I was going to do a top 10 for the 2 weeks, but could not find the results. So I just decided to bag it and go for the top 5 again. But I will have another one up next week, maybe even one in between, maybe a response to some video if someone posts one. So I will be on later. Peace.